Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chats. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong live for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well. Hello. Testing. There we are. We're on. Should have checked that a bit earlier, but there you go, folks. To let me know in the chat if the audio is coming through now. I think it is. I think it's working. I should have checked that earlier. But anyway, welcome to Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Good to see a few of the early birds up and at it. As always, welcome to the show. There's a couple of regulars there. Jeff, Luke. Morning to you guys. Thanks for joining. Great to see you here. Sometimes there's one or two in the Facebook groups as well. If you're in the Facebook group, that's awesome. Thanks for joining. These days, I can't see your comments or your chats, unfortunately. Facebook's changed a couple of things, but if you're there, if you are saying hello and I'm not seeing it, apologies, but still say hello. Great to have you. Join me and others this morning as we're waiting for things to warm up a little bit. I'll do the intros as we normally do. Jason Witten's my name. Most of you know that, though. And this is where we hang out in the mornings, do a quick conversation about property investing, about going the distance, folks. Takes a little bit of time and tenacity to build your property portfolio. And that's what these check-ins, daily check-ins are all about, these Wealth Coffee Chats, making sure we keep an eye on what is for real and what's just rubbish, what's bullshit that the fear machine, the ignorance machine wants us to know or forget or not know. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Don't listen to those who don't care about your future when it comes to your finances and wealth. Really, at the end of the day, it's you. You're the one who needs to make those decisions and keep yourself on track. So Wealth Coffee Chats designed to make sure we check in each day and see what's going on. So there you go. If you're brand new, if you're new, say hello in the chat. Love to hear from you. Love to hear where you are in Australia or wherever. Morning, Brendan. Well, mate, concentrate. We don't want you getting distracted. Hopefully you can listen and wire up at the same time. There you go. Great to have you on, mate. Thanks for joining. Hey, listen, tonight, just a quick shout out. If you didn't already know, you would have already received an email and a text message. But tonight, we've got a special guest on tonight, Andy Fenton, and at mentoring. Make sure you jump along and He's going to be talking about some of the budget changes, tax improvements, super improvements, and also, ladies and gents, he's going to be talking about his strategy, the $232,000 tax-free strategy for investors. So there you go. Luke's coming in from the golf course this morning. Awesome, Luke. That's fantastic, mate. Getting a bit of exercise and listening to Welsh Coffee Chats at the same time. That's great stuff. Brendan, didn't see that. Hey, maybe what is it? Development change in New South Wales. I haven't seen it, Brendan. Maybe tag me. That'd be awesome. In that, if you can, there you go. But anyway, this morning I thought we might talk about something. We always talk about a lot about the acquisition part of our portfolio. But we might talk about maybe the other parts of our portfolio or stages of investing today. And for those who don't know, we might just do a quick refresher, but just talk about what the idea is when we get to this exit point, this lifestyle point, this destination, this place, this thing. What might we do when it comes to the world of property investing? Anyway, let's talk about this. There's 3 stages. You guys know the drill. Put them in the chat if you want to play along at home. 3 stages of property investing that I've seen. We have to have different attitudes, different behavior, different strategies and tactics to get what we want. And sometimes there's conflicting ones. You know, the idea that you want to pay your debt off, but you want to buy more property. And you need to reconcile and understand what, when, and how those things work. So put it in the chat anyway. I'll write them on the board. So there's the acquisition phase. This is when you go ahead and buy some properties. This is the consolidation phase, or sometimes it might be called the waiting phase or whatever. And this is what we call, the lifestyle or legacy stage, depending on, what you're up to and where you're going. So what does it look like for you and me as property investors? And, if you're new, well, let's quickly take you through that. The idea in the early days of your investment activity, let's say this is 0, let's say this is 30 years, whatever this might be, you might go ahead and you might purchase a number of properties. Now, for you, for me, what are the things in this stage here that are really important? And we'll talk about that in a second. And as you go, those properties go up in value. That's the point. Over time, those properties go up in value. You want your rents as well to go sort of up in value. You want your rents to go up in value, create an income for you. And at some point, over a 30-year period, you want your debts to go down in value. And over here is where, where the fun is. This is where the money's at. This is kind of the money over here. This is where the dollars are at. This is where often the lifestyle legacy is at. However, there's sometimes that can be quite a long time away. We do all this work over here. We sacrifice. We have budgets. We sometimes go without. I remember sort of a good 10-year period that as a family, we didn't have, many holidays or whatever. We put all of our money into our property investing. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you've got to sacrifice. You've got to take a little bit of a something now, or you've got to remove a little bit of something now for something more in the future. Perfectly fine. Always happens. You can only get so much out of a certain amount of money or borrowing power or whatever you've got. So, that's the way these things roll. Acquisition phase, loan to value ratios. What do we do over here? 88%, interest only. Why do we do interest only? With offset and redraw facilities, depending on what you do. Don't pay your debts off over here. This is about leverage. And this is about buying your properties as quick as possible, ASAP. The sooner you get the acquisition phase done, the better, all right? Good budgets, all your income into one place. You know, if you can, get pay rises. If you can, you know, in this stage over here, this is where we start to accelerate things in the consolidation phase. This is where you maintain, manage, and maximize your properties. This is where you might, you know, add value to get the rents up. This is where you might renovate the properties. This is where you've got to have a little bit of patience, you know. Sometimes in this stage, sometimes in the consolidation stage, you might do this. You know, you don't hear me say this often, but if you didn't buy well, you know, we talk about buying well, you might sell a property and then come back to this stage and buy a better one. All right. You might have to sell a property to get you back on track. All right. Those sorts of things. But the point of today's conversation, folks, what I wanted to sort of dine out on a little bit is this lifestyle legacy phase over here. What can we do? How does it work when, you know, let's say you're 15 years in, let's say you're 12 years into your portfolio. This is great. Things are going fine. Things are going fine. You've got, you know, 5 to 7 investment properties. You've got your principal place of residence. You know, you're in position. You've got the things. You've got the investments. You've got the properties. Now what? How does it work? What do we do? How can we bring this forward? Do we just sit around and wait? Good question. All right, so let's look at this. Let's look at that sort of section. Let's call it the lifestyle, you know, legacy section of our investing. What can we do in this section? Sell well. Exactly. You're right, Brendan. New slogan. Got to sell well. You know, if you didn't buy well, sell well. Yep. Oh, we got something here, Brendan. We got something here. Right. So in this section here, we're in this kind of, you know, this section here. How can we? The question is this: in the lifestyle and legacy phase, how can we bring it closer to us? How can we make the cash flow more? Because the point of this stage is this, right, team? So let's say you arrive at, you know, this stage and you've got, you know, $6 million worth of real estate, and you might have $2 million worth of debt. Okay, so you got 6 mil of real estate, you got 2 mil of debt. What do? Maybe your passive income's 50K at that point, you know, positive cash flow. You know, 50K is not enough at that point. What can we do? What can we do to accelerate and make our lifestyle legacy phase a little bit better? All right, put it in the chat. What do you think I've got 3 versions of the lifestyle legacy phase that we can entertain in our world, folks. Put it in the chat, play along with me and have a think about this. You arrive at a certain stage of your portfolio. And when we're talking about, you know, the 3 stages, usually it's in and around here. I was saying this before, right? It's around this section, right? It's around this section here, usually around 12 to 15 years into your portfolio, 12 to 15 years into the portfolio, and you're looking down the track a little bit, you know, depending, often this is kind of age related, but sort of you're looking down the track and you say, right, how can I get my portfolio to generate more cash flow, you know, get to the point I want quicker? How can I do that? Well, if you've got any thoughts, whack it in the chat for me, but here's 3 ways. Here's 3 ways we can do it, all right? Number 1, let's just say over here, I'm just going to use this as an example. Let's say we've got 6 investment properties. We've got 6 investment properties, all right? 6 investment properties here. So this is the sell down, debt reduce. All right, sell down, debt reduce, okay? That one's a simple one. At some point, you might be able to sell, let's say you sell 2 properties. you sell 2, and then you've got 4 debt-free. Now, that's an easy one. Nothing wrong with that. Not my preferred method of accelerating your cash flow in Lifestyle Legacy. Not my preferred method, but sometimes for some of us, that might work pretty nicely. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You get a choice. If you want some debt-free, less stressful activity at the end of the portfolio creation, happy days, no problem, debt-free. That's a brilliant one. You buy a few more properties than you need, you sell a few down, and you're debt-free, and now the income is pretty significant. Now, there's some structuring in here. You got to make sure you're structured efficiently for tax, okay, in that one. But this is pretty important. What's the next one? And sometimes it can be a combo of stuff here, folks. What's the next one? Anyone want to have a chuck one in the chat? Play along if you want to. If not, they could be a bit long in here. The next one, all right? Okay, we use equity for income acceleration. Now, income acceleration. So what do I mean by that? So we have a significant amount of equity here. Let's say you've got 2 million of debt. You've got 6 million of value. Let's unlock $1 million worth of, if we unlock $1 million worth of equity, so you're still only at a 50% loan to value ratio, very low loan to value ratio of your portfolio. You unlock $1 million worth of equity. Now, if you get $1 million and you get a 20% return on your $1 million, that's $200K a year, plus your $50K, minus any costs that might be. Your net in your pocket and some taxes, depending on how you're structured, might be 150, 120, whatever it might be. All right. So you unlock the equity and you keep a full portfolio. You're still getting $6 million worth of growth and all of those sorts of things, but now you're using the equity to generate some more income, folks. Generate some more income. Okay, nothing wrong with that. So you could sell down, reduce some debts. You could gear up. This is interesting. And accelerate and buy, invest in things that can create more income for you. There's joint ventures. You can do that. You can build for, you can build to sell. I've done a fair bit of that before in the past, building specifically to sell something in the future to create a trading income, et cetera, et cetera. That's what you could do. And what's the third way you can beef up or you can accelerate your income in this Lifestyle Legacy phase? And this one is, again, with equity, equity for cash flow. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Well, equity for cash flow, and the reason I put it in red is it's a bit more of a one. Now, what's has anyone been watching? I should have actually loaded up this thing, but there's a growing mortgage product that's exploding right now. What's a really it's an old product, but it's around and it's picking up pace right now. A mortgage product that's picking up pace right now. Anyone know what it is? Put it in the chat if you do. But I'll talk about what it might be. Anyone know what it is? Now, for some of you, you might be putting things in the chat and I can't see them. So if you are, fantastic. But that's all right. Has anyone ever heard of a reverse mortgage? Now, it was designed for, old people and they're living in their home and they don't want to leave the home. Boom, Luke's on it. Yep, that's it, Luke. Well, interestingly enough, this idea of a reverse mortgage is actually picking up popularity. Now, this is our version. This is your and my version. Yeah, there's a massive shift in wealth generation. So all of this, Brendan, you need to consider for sure. How are you going to, if you want to, you can just have a big party and make sure there's nothing left for your kids at the end if you want. But if you want to hand it on to the next generation, you've got to make sure you're structured in a way you can do this, right? So equity, reverse mortgage. Now, this is our version of reverse mortgages, right? I don't like the reverse mortgage product personally. You can do your own version of a reverse mortgage. So let's have a look at what this might be. Now, I've got some rules in my world that if you're going to use equity for cash flow at a certain point, my 6 million, I've got $4 million worth of equity in there, right? Then each year I will use a maximum. I can use a maximum of 3% of my total value. That's my rules, 3%. So I can use $180,000 of equity out of my equity if I want to, and I can keep going forward. Why? Because my $6 million portfolio is on average, actually inflation's 3% or maybe a bit more of late, but my portfolio is going to grow between 5 and 7% anyway every year. Not linear, but you guys know the drill. So my maximum is 3%. My preference is 1%, folks. So if you got 66 million, of portfolio, you can take out 60 grand a year and off you go. But I'd probably round that to 100, right? So if you've got 50K in passive income, you take 100K in equity. That's not too bad. Or folks, good luck, Luke. See you, mate. Yeah, I'm actually a bit over time today, but or you do this. You've got your passive income, you accelerate, and you use equity. Imagine that. Imagine the combination of these things when it comes to the back end, the lifestyle, the legacy, the exit plan, the passive income stage, right? And this is usually, nice looking picture, right? Nice colors. This is usually the conversation. This is a conversation in this stage. This is a conversation in this stage where you need the right financial planner and the right accountant and the right property advisor in that stage to make that work, folks, as you go along, because you don't want to, basically at the end of your investing process, not get your finance structures organized. When you have no job anymore, it's very difficult to borrow, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, hopefully that was useful. What do you need in each of the stages? Because it's pretty important to understand those things and make sure in advance you're thinking about them as you go along. Anyway, there you go. All right, folks, that's it from me. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted. Join me tomorrow for another one, 8:10. If you don't know already, we hang out at 8:10. That's the drill each weekday for a Wealth Coffee Chat. So let's hang out tomorrow. If there's anything that you've seen around, let me know. Put it in the chat. Brendan, those changes in New South Wales, I'll look them up. Thanks, team. Good to see you. Maybe see you again tomorrow. All right, that's it from me. Bye, folks. Cheers now. Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us.
Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6 Star team here at positivementor.com.